Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Lighting Your Sunshine, where we like to shine a light within and empower ourselves. So no message today, we're just using the Guardians of the Night Tarot and see what message wants to come out. Okay, I heard 7. So let's just get it good and mixed up. So while I'm shuffling it, and I heard 7, they brought me to, when I was younger, there used to be, I don't know if it's still out, it might even still be out, but it was 17 magazine. So they showed something when we were younger. So, okay, wait. Okay, so how many we got here? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, now, okay, so there was a deck of cards here that I put them on, and when I picked them up, it came from this. I was going to incorporate this deck into it, but apparently we just need this only one card. But you want to know what's really cool? I don't have the story yet, but I do see a cool synchronistic moment. So I put the cards down, I picked them up, and it is Strength. It has a lion on there, and then, I don't know why, I never do it, but when I put the deck down, for some reason I put it upside down. And this is the card that's on the bottom of the deck. And I'm just having like a really cool moment. Like, what are the chances that they both show up, yet not quite supposed to be part of the reading? Both of them, King of Wands. King of Wands would be all about you standing in your passion and your power. Passionate, that's more of what it is. But this one with the Strength is the perfect one because the Strength card. I don't know why I said perfect. There was a story coming out and then it stopped. And now that I actually like go and look at this, holy moly, this card has so much Sekhmet in it, like legit. There she is. And then on the other side in the stone, that's the statue that I'm getting. So what I was seeing, oh, there, maybe we got light right there. You can see better that way. There's the Red River. So I am getting a touch of Memphis coming through. So not Memphis like Elvis. Memphis, I'm talking like in the States. I'm talking about in Egypt with Sekhmet. So I'm just going to put these two up here. They don't really have anything to do with the reading, but they're a little bit of an overshadow protection of this reading. So I am going to bring I always bring Sekhmet in. She hangs out right there. And just let her kind of guard this reading. Because now that I look down, I haven't actually got a chance to look at my cards. But what I find interesting, because I find everything interesting, is there is 2 foxes. And especially with the Guardians of the Tarot or Guardians of the Night, there's so many different animals in it. So to actually have 2 foxes sitting at the top is kind of a hidden message, they say. And when I say hidden message, I do see the rabbit right there. And the rabbit is like going down the rabbit hole. And so this card, oh, and there's all those rabbits in the rabbit hole too. But this card reminds me of a past reading. I don't know why that reading stands out more than other readings, but it did have to do with a hardworking fox. And that fox, I've thought about this reading so much since. I don't know why. There was something to it that I knew that just hadn't happened yet. And so in it, the fox was kind of sneaky or shifty at the beginning, right? Because a fox to a rabbit, like instinctively we would say that the fox is the trickster energy. But what turned out was that the rabbit up here was spending all its time with all these outside sources. And I don't know, this one was like kids. The fox was at home taking care of the kids. And so it's almost seeing like a fox take care of baby rabbits. Like that doesn't even make sense. So there is a little bit of gossip and things that have been going on about this. And so, to be honest, like I said, I've thought about this because I remember that story being so clear as I channeled it. And now, like I was just thinking about it last week or maybe even like yesterday. Like it pops up in my mind quite often. And then I go, oh yeah, that was a fun story. And then we let it go. So I don't know what happened in this, but from what I get is I do believe a split happened, because this one was like taking all the money and the resources and things like that. Do I have my, I do, and things like that. But what makes me think that there was a split from it was this fox was in a relationship with the rabbit before, and the rabbit was kind of being, I want to say promiscuous. That's the type of energy that's coming through, but it could just be giving all your time and resources and caring more about what others outside of the relationship think. It was something like that. And it wasn't beneficial for the kids. And so in this one, we have two foxes. I pointed to his tail. Okay, we got the fox, and then we have the fox down here. Whereas this one, I got a masculine energy. This is the Empress card. The Empress, which is loving and nurturing. And so I do see that it's still the same scene. It's still the same scene. Like there's still lots of pink houses and everything like that. There still is the den underneath. It's just that the players are matched up more. They have the same beliefs and values. And so they're not out there getting mad at a rabbit for doing rabbit tendencies. And now they've aligned themselves with an Empress. Which rabbits, whenever I think of rabbits, I do think of fear. I think of them as, right, how close can you get up to a rabbit? Not often. As soon as like even the most tiniest sound inkling, like they're out. And that's kind of what I associate, right? Rabbits are fertility, right? They reproduce like crazy, but it's that fear element. And so if you base something on fear and you grow and grow and grow on that, it's going to become something that you don't want to deal with in the end. And that's what I'm getting from this fox situation, is they didn't want to deal with it. So they did find another. So let's move on and actually see what the rest of the cards were. And I've kind of got a mess going on here. So there's two there, two there. So there's two there, two here, and then three there. So that's in one thing. So I am picking up on that old reading, that whatever happened in that reading, because I honestly, I don't remember the details. I just remember the fox. And I remember this is back when I was trying to grow my channel, and I made all these like little shorts and things like that. And I made like a quick little short, and in it was just like a brief recap of like what it was. And I remember calling the fox a silver fox, and then laughing because that's what my guides did. Like the silver fox came in, and then it was like kidding, and then that. And so I don't know why it's this silver fox that has always been in the back of my mind that I think is the reason why I see this reading. And I'm wearing gray today, so that's interesting. But we got the elephant, which is the second reading that has stood out in my mind the most, was the elephant that was outcasted. So it's like the fox, the elephant, and the armadillo have come through in readings. And I see these as very, very important stories. even though it was just like every other reading. Okay, I'm getting a little bit distracted and off topic, but to be honest, I think that that's what this story is meant to be. It's like layers and unfolding. So now they're talking about, okay, layers and unfolding. I want to talk to you about the onion, and this. So when I started my healing journey, I did find, and that's where this comes out, with the High Priestess. High Priestess is all about intuition and those things. And then we have the King of Cups. And the King of Cups is like working on balancing the emotions and not going for like lusty things, like the rabbit in that card. Or it's not being like overly emotional, right? Do you ever have someone who's just like way sensitive and they cry at everything and it just makes it awkward when you're an empath and you're always trying to help them? It's not that passive aggressive. It's a balanced, stable emotion. That's what the King of Cups is. So, to sidetrack from this, to talk in my healing journey, now we're going to go back to Sekhmet because she is who I heal with. Definitely. She came to me on, it was one of my birthdays, like so long ago. I just knew that right there she is. I just wanted that statue because whenever I'd be around that energy of her, or something would come up in a book or a documentary, like I would just like, whoo, like I remember one day I was watching a documentary on nope, not coming. It was the tombs that they just found maybe in like 2020. It's like sequoia almost sounding, but it's not quite that because sequoia is a tree. And I remember even before watching it, not knowing that it was going to be about Sekhmet, and then the person beside me, they fell asleep. And I got this goosebumps, and all of a sudden I got all this information downloaded into me, and I just wanted to share with them, like, hey, guess what? I know what this is. Like, this is a place that I've been to before. This is a past life something or an astral travel. I don't know how I know, but I know. And it was like, Spirit almost like made them fall asleep. Because it wasn't for them. It's not their healing journey. They're not on the same path. And so the High Priestess is me coming into this emotions of a healing process that I went through. And so that's why these strength cards, and I'm pretty damn intuitive. I'll give myself a little credit for that. So the onion. So back in the day, I was doing reception at a medical office, and I had a coworker there, and she was so awesome, and we'd always talk, and I was in this stage of life where I was ready to finally let go of all that heavy, dense old things. I was in between the old and ready to go to the new, but you can't go to the new when you're still carrying the baggage from the past. And so every day, especially as an empath, you'd feel people, right? People's emotions and things would just kind of come up in waves. And I'd like, it would confuse me because it would be things from the past, so far in the past that you haven't even thought of in like 10, 15, 20 years, like when you were 7, something like that would just pop up. And the emotion that came with it was so intense. And so it would come and it would show you all the loose ends of things that you've never tied together before. And so it would come up and it would be like, are you ready to let this go? And you'd create these stories about how it was a lost, a missed opportunity, long lost love or something, you know, it coulda, shoulda, woulda. And then you'd work through that because in the end, you would see it objectively and you'd be like, no, like I would make the exact same choices as I did. I would stand firm because everything played out exactly how it was meant to be. How I got to where I am now is because I worked through that. So then you'd work through that. Then the next day, this new emotion would come and it would be like the next stage of the story. right? Because if you didn't deal with one thing and you kind of, if you're a runner, right, you run away from your problems, it's different places, different faces. So I'm at this job, and every day this new past thing would like knock, and it would be like an old love or old friend, something like that. And the energy would be so intense as if they were still there. And again, the next day it'd be like, oh, reach out to that person. It's not that actual called to action reach out. It was more out of desperation or mad at yourself, trying to correct your past actions. And that's when spirit was like, no, like this is a healing process. And so each day these things would come up and it would go. And that's when I started, and I looked at my friend and I'm like, girl, you're not going to believe this. And I told her all these stories because I have been through such funny stories. I really have. And people are like, how do you even find yourself in those predicaments? And I'm like, honestly, I don't know. It's because I had a lack of boundaries in the past. And I do have great stories to share because of it. But it's hard to heal when you didn't have good boundaries because you've absorbed it all as yours and you kept it there and you pushed it down and you said it's not yours. So one day, one thing's going to come up and you're finally going to like, they always say it's like bubbles. It's like, like pop, how it just goes to the surface and you watch it release and then it's gone. And that's what your thoughts are. And that's what these emotions, these were such old emotions. We get trapped in like our shoulders, our hips, wherever in your body. And so I looked at her and I would tell her all these stories, and it's weird because there was a part that wanted to latch on every time. But in this healing phase with Sekhmet, she kind of comes and like destroys the bits that's false, that's not true, that's the lie. And so it is kind of this uncomfortable process. I couldn't be around too many people just because it was at points a little unstable, right? Because you'd have these old wounds come up and the people around you don't know that you're going through a wound. You don't even know you're going through a wound or why it's even there. But it was like this little phase. And so it was just a little time to cocoon myself in that and let the emotions come up and through. And if they have come up and through and, worked through you, it should be released, right? If you know you're going out there and be like, no, this is my baggage, like, come back, like put that hook in you, then you got to keep releasing that. But let's say you let it go, you don't attach to it, it's gone. You have that lightness in your heart, but then you have this inkling to, it comes up again. Well, now that you've done that clearing, now that's something that's like, hey, I've got a little bit of hidden information for you. This is not a purging moment. This is a learning and healing moment. And what I mean, whereas the purge was healing, this one's coming up again and again. It's that knock that's like, maybe that is the one that each time I was like, do I reach out to them and apologize? What is this? Why is this coming up and out? And it was always about forgiveness and healing within yourself for allowing others to treat you that way, is what I kind of noticed the most. I do find, right, because a lot of that time was like, go back and apologize, open those old wounds and those doors. And Spirit was like, no, we're sealing this, like those are done. And anytime that I've ever actually had to go back and apologize to someone, I knew in the moment that I would have to go back eventually and apologize. I don't know why I felt like just saying that, but I guess someone needs to know that. You know in the moment that when you're doing something that you're like, this is wrong, and I'm either gonna lose this person or I'm gonna have to apologize one day. And sometimes time will help you mend that. But what they're talking about is you've purged it, you've done the onion, right? Each high priestess moment came and taught you what it was that you needed to learn. And it really balanced you into your emotions. So now you are free, right? You free willy. you're not captive anymore by these things that have, remember how this one was, strength was in reverse? Now it's in the upright. Now the healing is flowing. So we go back to this fox where it was a different energy. What I'm seeing is them kind of go through a process like that. And as they released things, I guess this fox has been in isolation, because I don't remember when I made this. It might have even been like a year ago I made that. And so in the past year, it sounds like they really did their due diligence and healed and went within. And yeah, because look at this one. This one is the male fox. This one doesn't have the white. And so, ta-da! This one's the Empress. The Empress has the white underbelly. So this fox really has just been hibernating and doing its thing. And so by hibernating and releasing these layers as they come, it has been, I feel like saying, tumultuous process. And so with that, they're saying like, you're almost at the end of your healing phase, and this partnership is coming that is equally matched. So there's 4 cards out of that. That's a cool story right now. I'm getting chills. They're telling me to pull off the pile. This isn't from the 7, but it is the Death card. And that Death card is just the process of letting the false go. It's the false illusions of the things that we keep telling ourselves that we had to put up with. We don't really have to put up with things. And so a lot of the times, because we thought we had to put up with it, we've accepted less than, or really crummy situations to happen to us. And so there is a little bit of inner healing, right? Going back to that forgiveness before, where it said if it comes back after. But what I'm getting is someone really wants to, it's you that like forgive yourself for letting yourself feel like you deserved less than. I feel like that's the forgiveness that's coming up right now. And someone keeps getting stuck with this forgiveness for themselves, thinking that it has to be the other person. And the other person, I feel like the slate's been washed clean. It's taking me to the Sekhmet card. The Red River is... So Sekhmet, she can get a little bit carried away. And so that's why I think the balance and the working on your emotions and things like that are important, so that you can stay balanced with your heart and stay in Matt, because there is a part in her story where Ra asked her to come down, and there was so much injustice. Matt was not being honored, and so she did go on like a killing spree of the people who were abusing and taking advantage of others, and unevening the scales. And so eventually when she started getting into that flow, it's like the mind takes over and you get into like a body rhythmic thing, and then she just saw red. So there is a red river. There has been bloodshed. The things that were unjust, she has taken care of, and so it's for you to heal from the wounds now. And so, yeah, it's not for you to keep going back and knocking on that door and hurting yourself all these times. It's for you to heal. There's something about a forgiveness for you, but you're very much in this balance. It has been a hard year, I'm seeing. It's been a very lonely year, but let's see what these 3 want to share. So we have the Page of Pentacles. We have the Hermit. Okay, that makes sense. And then we have the 9 of Swords. And the 9 of Swords is a polar bear, and I love the polar bear. But, okay, they're going back to this one, where in this den with the rabbits, there's all these pentacles. And so this fox has been very focused on money for their kids and maintaining a stable home, whereas this one was kind of out and spending or whatever. And so money's been the main focus. And that was hard because I do see like these two were such split. And so I feel like this might have been scarce for a bit, and you wanted to focus on money, but Spirit wanted you to focus on the relationships or the love or the lack thereof and the healing from it. And so the Pentacles kind of took a punch, they say. So that's where the Page of Pentacles is coming in, because you did take your time and you separated yourself and peeled back the layers of all that was a little toxic for you. Think about it. What does an onion do? You cut an onion and it starts to pull it. You can use it for sickness, right? Put it at the bottom of your feet and it will start to like pull the toxins from your body. And that's what this layer is. It's like releasing those toxins layer by layer by layer. But yeah, as soon as you cut an onion, it's going to start pulling in all the bad. And that's what you did. You did the reverse onion process, effect, whatever they want to call it. That shedding of the toxicity, layer by layer. And so you really did go into hermit mode. What does the hermit mode want to share? Nothing. That's what they said. That was the whole process or purpose, is for you to go into hermit mode, like the bears, right? Bears go into hermit, they hibernate, and as hard as it was for you, you are seeing things so clearly from the High Priestess perspective because your emotions are balanced. So I feel like you had a great sleep this year. It was so lonely that you don't even realize that this other fox, this female fox, is right there, and you're still just in your hibernation sleeping. Because the bear would have been in the upright, would have been like staying up all night, worried, like, when is the next shoe gonna drop? When is the next layer going to unfold? When's that rabbit gonna come back and take all my pentacles? But it was in the reverse. Like, this is sleepless. You're getting your sleep. You're having wonderful sleep, full nights. I don't know what word is wanting to come out, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Okay. So we have worked our way through all of these cards. Is there anything? Yeah. Which one? They're taking me to the twinkles of the High Priestess in the stars, which then went to the King of Cups in the crown. It went from there. So that's what I'm getting, is it started as a feeling, like goosebumps or a nudge or something. It's just like doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, twinkly sounds, and then that twinkly sounds kind of cleared things, and it really put you in your king status of being balanced emotionally between the mind and the heart. And then so from there, you are ready to almost shoot forward, right? The bat's sleeping. It is taking its time. The fox is sleeping. The bears are sleeping and hibernating. We got the spider always in hermit mode. And pretty soon, before you know it, it's going to be time to start grasping or reaching for that new. The new growth cycle is coming. We've already had the new year, the new everything, but in terms of how to best use your energy and when to grow and rest, we're coming in that waking up phase right now. So for this fox, oh, not that one, that's the old one, that's the old you. So for this fox, before you're ready, or before you come back out, they just want you to remember to put on your crown. I feel like in the past, well, it's the beginning of the very first read, was trickster energy or whatever energy. That's kind of what I'm getting, like whatever. And so from that, growing so much through these lessons, as you unfold the onion, as these toxins get released from your energetic field, you're now lighter. You're now, you've raised your vibration to this Empress. And this Empress is, oh, I was going to say, because this is a fox, but I really felt drawn to pull this card again. We need the light. And so when I got there, it went to this flower above his head. But then if you look here, the daffodils, there's little daffodils throughout this, and they have the same star shape. And when I ask, what is this star shape? It took me again to that death card. I know they asked me to bring that just once, but when I saw the death card, there's a glow around the mouse. There is something about you letting go of the old you, which would be this old fox, that, again, it's just like a red fox, trickster energy, something. But again, as I made that short, you're a silver fox now. There's like maturity and wisdom from it. And I deleted them all because I did find that my channel was growing so fast with my shorts, and it freaked me out. So I deleted them. I wish I didn't. I wish I saved it as reference, but I didn't. Okay, so anyways, back to it. That old dying is where that wisdom kind of comes from. And that wisdom from letting go of the old you is that crown. You learned so much this year, I hear. It was very lonely. I think you were used to having people always around you, because as in this first card, there was friends, or there was a spouse, children, and I'm getting that this is like friends or something that was like really close to you guys. And so for that to be a little bit fractured and changed, you're so used to having so many people all the time that to actually go into hermit mode, I don't know if I'm hearing for some, you've never been in hermit mode, that this was the first time. And they're like, that's why some people liked it so much that they don't want to come back out. They're really happy in here. And so that's wonderful, because now you're not having those sleepless nights. You're not up at night wondering, why me? Why me? Because you're in your high priestess energy, and you're so happy in there. And so think about it. Now that you took away this, you've created such a happy home with you and your kids. And then the next partner that matches up with you, do you need to leave the den? I don't know, because it does seem like such a very happy, content environment. And so I feel like when you have people working with you, that's when all the pentacles will start coming. And I'm even getting, like, from this pentacles, it's like you don't even have to reach much for it. You're just gonna be standing there, and it's gonna be like, opportunity, yeah, opportunity, got it, got it, got it. So we'll wrap it up on this card and go on our day. Okay. So when I went into it, on top of here, there's a little egg. And so it said, they came up to me and they're like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? And I seen an article the other day that they're saying that the chicken must have came first because the egg has a protein in it that only the pigeon, that the chicken produces. Totally butchered that. I hope you're following with what I'm trying to say. They said that the chicken must have came first because the egg shell has a protein in it that only the chicken can produce. And so therefore the scientists were thinking the chicken must have came first. And it's so funny because when they showed me that, it was like, what came first? And they're like, this egg doesn't even matter. Like, it's not an egg, it's an onion. Like, and then the egg turned into a potato, and it was like, still, this is an onion. Like, what came first? It doesn't matter, because it's what have you released is the thing. Not what's protected, what's coming. It's what have you let go of. And so again, with that, it goes to that death card and letting go for the wisdom. There's a super happy homecoming. You deserve it. You're not going to be lonely for much longer. And what I get in your little hermit mode is you're not even that lonely. You're so used to having so many people around. Maybe you were lonely at the beginning, but now at the end, at this time, you're so content with being yourself. And so is that other fox, the Empress fox. These two love individuality, yet know how to work together. And that, my friend, is a cool story. So we'll leave it there. Have a good day, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.